Hi everyone, welcome back to another video, and let's see if you can guess what today's video is, because it's not the normal one, technically, kind of, because it's not dragons. It's not creatures. It's not dinosaurs. It's people. Yep, we're making people today. In other words, I have a new comic I've started. So this one is my writer's comic. So the reason why I'm doing this one next is because after reading Rebecca Yarrow's Fourth Wing and Iron Flame, I got really excited about my Dragon Rider story. So I've been thinking about this one a lot, and here we go. It's got people. There is a reason why I don't do people here. Yes, first time ever I'm drawing people, and they're two males specifically. I just don't draw people that much. I mean, again, like compared to when I first started drawing, especially people, to now, they have improved. Because if you go back and look at my first sketchbook tour, I think, you'll see I drew people. Um, yeah, it was a it was a something. But like I learned how to draw animals first, particularly horses. People came after, so then I wasn't really good at those. But then I got into anthropomorphic characters, and then we got eventually people. So I'm also probably gonna have same face syndrome. That's just what it is. Let me get through it until I can figure it out. Like here, I actually already started trying to make them both different, size wise, a little bit of look wise. I don't draw facial hair. I don't personally like facial hair anyway. Like in real life, I don't like it. So the beard on the second little dude, which you'll see eventually, is kind of funny looking. Again, let me just struggle bust through this. I just gotta figure it out as I go. But the good news is I now have mannequins again, because I used to have like the action figure thing doodads, like for not like the regular mannequins without a face, but like the actual like people looking ones. I don't know what they're really called, but I have those again because I used to have them, but I broke them to the point I couldn't like put their parts back in, so I had to get rid of them. So I got more. I got like four of them with some accessories and like extra hands and feet for like $20 off Amazon. So I was like, yeah, I have backup in case one of them breaks. So I have those, so I can start using those. But again, let me just struggle bus it. That's what it's gonna be. Because I have to like learn some of the positions because I actually make heads shorter than what they should be because I don't give a bunch of forehead. I know that. So it's like I gotta figure out to make them more a little more proportion, but we'll get there eventually. But yeah, so this is just my writer story. So this is how I started it out. Again, I've been thinking about this one quite a bit because I was waiting on this one or a different one, like doing a different story next. But again, because after reading Yaros, I said, we're gonna do mine. So this is what it beginning. Because I have four more stories I still have to do. Yeah. So, because I'm doing like a circuit is what I'm doing. So I have a whole thing set up. So eventually, like every few months, we'll go back to a different story. Like Erlethea, we're still in the process of that. But if you want to go back and like review it or reread it or whatever, feel free. It's a playlist here on YouTube, please. Or I have them on Instagram as well. I have our comics page, but it's just the stills of my comics. So I'm like, you can also go look at that too. Like if you don't want to move and just sit there and look at them, please feel free. So this little sketch right here, the first one was just them walking, just the feet, the shoes. I gotta figure that out too. But this, he makes me think of an elf because originally I was gonna have him with longer ears because he's bonded to a Ryton, so it's gonna be a little bit different, like a regular Dragon Rider. So I was almost gonna give him like more animalistic features, but I decided not to. So I just changed it to a regular ear, but he just looks kind of funny because it's almost like a wolf transition. I think because of the way I did his nose, but because I have his face kind of pointed upwards, like he's kind of annoyed, is what the intention was. So he just has that like, and I made his ears long at that point when I first sketched it. So that's what that reminds me of, and I'm like, it just looks kind of funny. So that's why I'm like, it's a good thing I have the little mannequins now, because now I can actually give them like proper angles like I'm supposed to, because we didn't do it the first time. But that's fine. So, but yeah, this is me just kind of writing it out. Because what I do is I'll go back, because I do such a light pencil first, especially with the words, so I don't lose them. I will go back with a darker pencil like this to make sure I can keep the words, because I'm like, I need those words. That was me going behind his head to try and figure out where the speech bubble would end and connect. Because I will do that. I'll do like a ghost drawing of the line to make sure I can connect it properly. If not, I'll just go kind of like straight through it because I'm like, yeah, I gotta do something. So, like, certain angles for me are better. Obviously, the 3/4 view, I do that quite a bit already, so I'm like, I'm kind of used to it. And I start off my anthropomorphic characters, I guess AK or Aletheia, and the people the same exact way. I actually do all my heads the same way because I'll draw like the round part. So I'll start at the crown of the head. I'll go over, I will do an indent to where the eye is, and I'll pop it back out to where the cheek is. Then I'll go to the chin and kind of come up on the other side to finish up and to the rest of the chin, or I guess the bottom of the cheek. And I'll kind of connect it to like where the ear would go, if you will. Like I start off everything that way, even my animals, just because, and then I'll do the guidelines, like I'll do the line straight down the center, or like I guess where I want the features to be, like the angle, and then I'll put the horizontal line for where like the eyes would go. And then depending on what I'm doing, I'll just continue on with like the snout and stuff. So I did the people the same way because that's just what I've evolved into. Because I don't know what I did before. Well, I guess I started off drawing like Sonic characters and like their faces and stuff. So originally that's how I learned how to like draw Aletheia and whatnot, was through that. And then I eventually evolved it into what I currently do now, which you guys don't really see because I don't really draw faces. Like I'm more, but I might start trying to for you guys because I also thought about doing like tutorials, or I guess not tutorials, but like how I draw stuff. I don't know if you guys would be interested in that because that was kind of an idea I had, but I don't know if you guys want me to do that because that's what I thought about, like literally like from start to finish an actual drawing. But I would break it up into like 3 parts and stuff. So that was kind of an idea. I don't know. Like, let me know if you guys want that. But for the coloring, so the building, I was gonna do very basic because I was like, I don't want to do anything like super crazy with this. So I was gonna do like, the classic yellow walls, because that's just what I saw in my head. And then like the floor. So originally for the floor, I was making it, you can see the perspective that I have going on. To do like the tiles, but then I remembered that some floors are like solid concrete. Like there are no tiles. And I was like, shit. I'm like, why didn't I do that in the first place? So when I went to color it, that is how I acted. So like that's why there's the light parts in the middle of the floor, because I was acting like the lights from above were shining down. Because the intention was also on them having the light bounce off a little bit. Like I was gonna make it yellow, but I think like concrete floor it turns blue. I guess there might be a little bit of yellow in there, but for me, like kind of blue. So when I go back with the pencil soon, you'll see, because I don't do it with the marker. I stopped doing that because I'm like, I think it looks better softer if I do like a different color lighting versus like a harsh one. So that's what I was trying to do. So I was also trying to do like the top lighting because the light's coming down was the intention here. That's what I was like, I think that kind of makes sense to do it that way. So which I kind of did. Again, it's not perfect, but it was like that was just something that I was trying to attempt. So, but again, yeah. So for this, the colors were really basic, nothing super crazy. Because I'm like, it's a building. I'm not gonna go all out for this because I'm like, they're not gonna be here that long, and we'll get into more of the story. So this was a start. So yeah, it's a lot of gray, black, yellow, brown. That's a little bit of red. I mean, the red's probably the one that stands out the most, and a tiny bit of blue, but it's only in 2 panels, which you'll see later. Yeah. So it's that first panel, which you can see, and then it's one of the last panels. Because I just put him in jeans. Because again, this little dude I was trying to make super simple because I'm like, he doesn't really show up again. I might eventually, I don't know. But for now, I was like, let me just stick to something super simple. I'm like, I don't want to go all out. And yes, I give him a bit of a tattoo. Because my people, for some of them, like the main ones, do have tattoos. We just haven't gotten there yet. But obviously for Aletheia, those characters, they have fur. I'm not going to put tattoos on the fur. I'm like, that's just kind of weird. So, the people, however, will have tattoos. You'll have to give me a break on those two because I don't really do tattoos. I gotta figure out as I go. Like, there's already a couple in my head of what I want to do for certain people, but I just gotta actually do them. But it'll be a bit. So, Probably the next page I'd actually do for this, you'll actually meet more of the characters and I will start doing tattoos on them, but not at the moment. But I'm also not going to go all out because to a certain point, tattoos are cool, but after that point, I'm like, it's just too much. It just looks kind of bad at that point. I mean, people do whatever they want. I don't personally have any, and I probably never will. But some of them are really cool, don't get me wrong. But, once you get to a certain point, I'm like, it just looks bad. That's just me. But if you've seen Erlathia and you've read it, you know exactly who that character is in the background. That is right. So yes, I'm bringing him back because I reuse, reduce, recycle a lot of my content. And for me, I'm fine with it because it's my stuff and I can do as I please. I just kind of switch it up to match the story. So Ryt is actually a lot smaller than what he is originally in the Erlathia story. Because the dragons that I have are 10 feet tall, like the normal ones. The Spinalquills species and the Rytons are 15 feet tall. So his rider, I haven't come up with a name yet. But his rider is over 6 feet, probably like 6'4", 6'5", something like that. So he's huge. So Ryt is 15 feet. But then Arlith, who is my main dragon, and the Hive Leads, which you've already got a glimpse of as well in Arlathia if you have read it, they're 20 feet tall. So Hive Leads are just the largest species just because. That is how I made them. They're also the strongest, and it comes the Rytons technically. But the Spinalquills can match the Rytons easily, and they can kind of match up with the Hive Leads too. And then there's Arlith. He's the largest dragon, like technical, like actual, like dragon, not a Hive Lead or a Ryton, because he is also an elemental. I'm bringing that back as well. So for me, it makes sense. Like the explanation is that he's got to have a body to match his power, so that's why he's so big. But he's also the only Spinaquill bonded to a rider for reasons, which we'll get into eventually. I'm not now. I'm just kind of giving like a little bit of a catch up for next time. But again, it'll be a while before I come back to the story. But I just want to start bringing out more of my characters and stuff because I just want to switch things up a little bit for you guys versus just sticking to one story, for months on time at a time. So also, yeah, skin coloring, you're going to have to give me a break. Again, I have to learn because I don't do skin. So like I have some ways I can do this, like for marker, I'm going to do very soft shading for the marker so it's not super dark and just do more of it with the pencil to make it easier. Like the blush, I do put blush. It's just, I just do it with a pencil. It's on the lighter side, doesn't stand out too much, but it's there. But again, you'll have to let me get some practice in, so just bear with me while I figure all this out, because again, the people for quite a while until I get used to them and figure them out will be a struggle bus. So you'll have to give me a break, because if you're a master at drawing people, you probably understand at the very beginning, you gotta learn, so that's what I gotta do here. So you'll have to give me some time. But eventually I'll figure it out. So we'll see. But I just have to learn. Because I'm used to doing animals, not people. But it'll be alright. I'll figure it out eventually. But again, I guess I'll probably use my little mannequins too. Because I guess they almost have like a skin-like texture. I don't want to say they do, but they almost do. Like it's plastic though, but it kind of helps with the light, so we'll see. But I know I've been talking a lot, but I gotta explain. Not really about the page, because there's not much to go on. But the black, oh my gosh. I love black, but I hate coloring it. It just looks so nice though. So their clothes are also variations of Arlathia. Like every single clothing I do for all the characters, the special characters, if you will, are variations of the Arlathia clothing. So that's what this is. So like the actual like Dragon Riders clothes will look different than the Rytons clothing and the Hive Leads clothing. I haven't even figured out the Hive Leads clothing yet. Actually, this clothing I kind of came up with on the fly. But I was trying to do it because I was trying to match it because they have that special. The Rytons have those. I call them scars because it's kind of holding the creature together. Because Rytons are like scientifically made, if you will, like through like magic and stuff. Like they're not normal creatures. Because if you go back and look at Arlethea, I'm gonna keep going back to it because that's like I already got a couple of things down with it. Ryt has like these little wisps coming off of him. So it's like he's kind of being held together by the scars, is what it's for. So like his clothes, I was trying to mimic that. Like if you see on the sleeves, I didn't do it very well. It's not very prominent. Like his sleeves specifically have those scars on them to mimic what Ryt has on him, and then also is on the pants. His clothing, because Ryt has the scars in the front as well as the chest, going down the body. That's what I was kind of doing here. Again, it's not going to be exact, but it's just mimicking, is what the whole purpose is. So same thing for whenever I do the rider's clothes, it'll be mimicking. It'll mimic the dragons. But I'm gonna keep the stripes in the oh, what is that? It's not the borders, but I guess the lining of the clothes, like the outside lining, will be different colors. So that's the whole point. That's why I'm like, I gotta figure it out as I go. Because I'm not very good at like planning out clothes. I kind of just made up the clothes on the fly because I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I like them, don't get me wrong. But yeah, so like the Rytons, like the Ryt Riders, will mostly be on black. Because that's what the Rytons are, is that they're black. All of them. And they have 2 other colors on them. And then like the hive leads are all of them are white. That's their main color, and they have 2 extra colors as well. So like Haven, who was briefly shown in Arlethea, he's actually the main hive lead. So eventually, again, he'll come back, and he'll be the main hive lead. But for now, we have Ryt and his rider, and eventually I will come up with a name. However, if you guys have a name that I should call him, let me know, and we can take a vote on it if we get a couple names. So I think it'd be kind of fun. And I guess last thing really quick, while we're finishing up, is I've been looking at opening up like an online store, and by that I mean like a print on demand site where I kind of upload the design and they print it off whenever people buy it. Possibly eventually commissions, a Patreon, maybe Shopify. I don't know how you guys feel about that because it's like I figured out a way it might be easier for myself, but I just want to know if I have the demand before I put all that work and effort into it. So I mean, I have to come up with like the designs for some stuff, like for examples, obviously, so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about. But it's just something I've been thinking of, and I'm like, I kind of need to see what people have to say before I do all that, because I don't want to do it and then nothing happens. But I would probably start off with a print on demand site for a while to get some of that income coming, so that way I'm not using it for my day job, because I got to have that for other stuff. But if I can get money off of that and I can put it back into the business, then maybe eventually I can start doing commissions to like send them out to people, because I know that's going to cost a little bit. I know it's paper, but it's still going to cost money to send it out. And then maybe eventually like buying my own products and selling them, off Shopify and whatnot. So I just don't know how you guys are feeling, because I haven't never really been asked. I mean, a couple times I've been asked if I do commissions. Unfortunately, I've always told them no because like I'm not set up for it. But if you guys are interested, like please let me know. I'm also going to put this on like other sites as well, because it's like I just want to get as much opinion as possible. So it might take a while for a good answer, but I'm like, I just want to make sure I have an audience before I attempt anything. But I will eventually I'm going to start to create examples for you guys and like kind of show them. I obviously won't be on like actual products, but you'll still get to see them, just to kind of show like what you can expect. So, and then maybe we'll evolve into other things, but yeah, please just let me know. But here's the end. So this is it. Yep, my 15-foot devil over there. But thank you guys for watching. So please let me know. I'll put the questions back down in the description as well. Feel free to answer. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!